The big news just broke, an hour or so ago. Jimmy G, after all of this time, he will be back with the Niners. He's taking a pay cut. He was supposed to make about $29 million this year. He is going down to $6.5 million. Obviously, I'm sure there's some incentives that could get it back up there. It could get up to about $16 million if he hit all the bonuses. But people might say, well, why would he take a pay cut? Because, it seemed like they were going to cut him, right? Before the contract was guaranteed. And so if they had cut him, another team would have probably signed him for even less than that, right? And so he's actually probably getting more money than he would have gotten
but this
had
is
he
why
not negotiated this.
Such a bad contract. Like you got a $29 million number, Chris, that doesn't mean anything. That's
yeah,
why,
I mean that's
you know
been
what I mean?
football. He's the last year of his deal.
It's
bad.
It's
a lot
bad
of them are like that
because it's not real money. So that 29, he never was going to get that. Like
right.
he just wasn't going to get it.
Right. Well, that may be changing if Lamar pushes for this guaranteed deal as you and I have said he should. But anyway, I like it, Rob. I think that I've said all along that the 49ers should keep Jimmy G. His money, they just didn't want to pay him out of principle because his money's not negatively affecting the team. All right, it's not going to affect when they re-sign Nick Bosa in the offseason. They already signed Deebo Samuel. They just didn't want to pay a backup quarterback $29 million. But I think it's good that he's there because this team is built to win now. And look, they're turning the team over to Trey Lance, which I agree with. As much as, I've touted Garoppolo for winning, I think you put all that into Trey Lance. He does have physical tools. See what he can do. But if he can't, it doesn't perform well, or if he gets hurt, you don't give up the season. Now you've got a quarterback can win.
From the Fox
you can
Sports
win with. And so they'll keep Jimmy G as insurance, and I think that's a smart thing to do.
I think this is the dumbest thing going. I just think Trey Lance should be your quarterback. You drafted him. You moved up in the draft. People questioned you. You want to move on to him. Why keep Jimmy G around if you've moved on? And I just think it's still that kid's going to be there, and he knows what Jimmy G has done in the past, and that, I got to play great because if I don't, then they're going to put this guy in. It doesn't show a full commitment. So I think the 49ers have made a mistake here. I don't care what it would have cost. Cut him, or get him to take some sort of settlement, but move on from him if you're going to make that move. Because to me, if all things are equal, and you're right, Chris, they do have a team that's ready to win. They almost went to the Super Bowl for a second time during Jimmy G's tenure there in San Francisco.
If not for a dropped interception.
Exactly. That interception.
He might have been in 2 Super Bowls in 3 years.
Absolutely. You know that. That was a game changer that
right.
Stafford threw a short pick, but it didn't happen. But here's the point. I think what they do here is they give themselves a safeguard, which I just think you should make a commitment to the guy and say, and I'll give you, and I'm not saying he's on this level at all. But, when the Packers just decided, okay, dude, we're done. I mean, don't forget, Brett Favre played, Chris, like 3 more years and got to the NFC Championship game. He wasn't finished. Remember? He wasn't finished at all. But they just decided this is our guy. We're going to go with Aaron Rodgers, and that's the end of it. And Trey Lance, if you really believe he's got that something special, Chris, and you're watching him and you feel good about him, move on from Jimmy G. Don't keep him around. And teams do this sometimes just so that you give the guy that you've turned it over to the ultimate confidence that this is my team come hell or high water.
Okay.
They're going to let me learn. The only way I'm going to learn is by playing.
But what if he's not that good?
Well, then shame on you.
It's not
shame
like we've seen Sam Darnold was a number 3 pick, just like Trey Lance. Mitch Trubisky was a number 2 pick. Marcus Mariota was a number 2 pick. You know as well as I do. Just because you were drafted high, obviously people believe in all these guys they pick high. and all of them aren't that good. Now, he may be a star. I don't know. We'll see. But if he's not that good, and if you made a mistake, then you could easily go to Jimmy G. And here's the other thing. Let's say, just for sake of argument, he starts off the season after 5 games. You see, we're not playing well, and he definitely ain't playing well. He's the problem. And they go to Jimmy G. Now, I do think, Rob, he should have a long leash, 6, 7. I don't think you 3 games in, you get rid of him and all that. I think you're right in that. Give him the chance. But if 5, 6 games in, 7 games in, it's clearly not ready. You can go to Jimmy G, and then he's still young. He has started 3 games in like the last 3 years. And one of them was at the Division I AA level. So he very well may not be ready. You used the Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers comparison. Well, Rodgers had sat for 3 years. This kid came from lower level college ball and sat for 1 year. And so he may not yet be ready, and then he might be ready next year. So I don't think if indeed they at some point have to go to Jimmy G because he's not playing well, that doesn't have to mean Trey Lance is done.
I'm not saying that he's done.
He's ready next year. Now he's not quite ready yet.
I just think that's the decision, and that's why you're in the front office. That's why you're the GM and the head coach. Like the Packers didn't flinch. They could have easily said, "We know, whatever. Brett can still play."
They also believed in Rod. Like you could see,
I know, and that's
legit.
what I'm saying. Like if I'm Trey Lance, I don't believe that they have full confidence in me because they're still keeping the guy around who's been winning for them, and it's just a money thing. If this wasn't a money thing, paying him $29 million and having a guy who you drafted, because it didn't stop the Packers from saying to Jordan Love, okay, well, we drafted you, we moved up for you, but the guy we thought we were going to replace you with just won back-to-back MVPs. So tough luck. You got to sit there. How many games has he played? He's played 1 game since he's been drafted.
That's the thing. So what if Trey Lance does feel like, man, they're not fully committed to him? So go out there and make them fully committed.
Well,
I mean, this is big boy football. This ain't about gift wrapping you anything because you were the 3rd pick in the draft.
I'm not saying gift wrapping, but I think that if you want to make those moves, it's just better sometimes to get that other guy out of the picture completely, so your quarterback, your team can focus in on him, because there'll be guys in that locker room, Chris, that when it's a struggle or things aren't going right, are going to say, "Why are we doing this? We got a team that was almost in the Super Bowl, and we still have a roster that's ready to win now. Why are we reverting to a young kid who's played 3 games, started 3 games in 3 years?" None of it makes sense because you kept Jimmy G around because you don't fully believe that something's going to happen. Just cut Jimmy G. They could have cut him and moved on and got a backup quarterback, somebody else who's not on that level.
The other thing is if the kid gets hurt. He got hurt last year in 2 games. So what if he gets hurt? And Ephraim Salaam made this point last week. I thought it was a good one as he was filling in for you. He said, look, players are going, like if they start poorly, and you said it because I had brought it up to him, players will start, hey, Jimmy G, we know we can win with him. He's like, players are going to be saying that anyway. If Jimmy G were to be cut or had been cut, then they really would have been like, yo, y'all cut Jimmy G, who we know can get us as far as we need to go, at least to the Super Bowl, for this? And now we got no chance because this kid's not ready? So they're going to be feeling that way anyway. If he doesn't produce, he might. Look, he's got physical tools. We'll see.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you just your gut, and we don't know. I'm with you. I'm gonna watch because, Chris, we aren't at practice. Okay, we aren't, and we don't know.
And really, let's see what he does in the games.
We got to really see him play, and it's different from when you coming in every so often, or you know what I mean, like they're putting you in. But now it's your team. The film is all on you. They're watching your tendencies. They're going to try to make you do stuff that you haven't been able to show on tape. My point is, what's your gut just going in? Knowing that this is the 3rd pick in the draft, and you got to win now. What's your gut just going in? Knowing that this is the 3rd pick in the draft, and you got to win now. What's your gut just going in? Knowing that this is the 3rd pick in the draft, and you got to win now. What's your gut just going in? Knowing that this is the 3rd pick in the draft, and you got to win now. What's your gut just going in? Knowing that this is the 3rd pick in the draft, and you got to win now. What's your gut just going in? Knowing that this is the 3rd pick in the draft, and you got to win now. What's your gut just going in? Knowing that this is the 3rd pick in the draft, and you got to win now. What's your gut just going in? Knowing that this is the 3rd pick in the draft, and you got to win now. What's your gut just going in? Knowing that this is the 3rd pick in the draft, and you got to win now. What's your gut just going in? Knowing that this is the 3rd pick in the draft And how good is he going to be? Is this guy going to get them to the playoffs this year? Do you have any feel
Well, they
for that?
got a great team, as we know, right? The NFC is not as strong as it used to be just a year ago. I mean, and so I do think they will make the playoffs. Now, will this kid be the one to lead them there? We'll see. But they open up, Rob. They got the Bears, the Seahawks, the Broncos, the Rams, the Panthers. They should be able to win at least 3 of those games. Bears, Seahawks, Panthers.
If they don't, it's going to be scary.
Right? That's really a good time for him. We got 6 games. 4 of them are very winnable, and we're not giving up to the Rams and Broncos. So that might be the timeline where they say, okay, if he hasn't done it, if we're not at least 3-3 and he's not playing well, maybe they make a move then. We'll see. But